All right, we get this one for free. Fill that column. Now, this is not an edge, so it's not quite as useful. We can't say for sure that the one remaining hole on this column is next to the monster, but we know it's not there, because if it were, you couldn't get across. So we've got that at least. We've got this one by the rule of 2. This is actually 2 on an edge. This one actually, you get the same result, but it works for a slightly different reason than if this monster weren't there. So because this monster is there, place that. Well, oh, in fact, this is a rule of 1. We get this. Well, in any case, you cannot put it there because then you wouldn't be able to access this, and you cannot put this there because this is actually a little bit more interesting. You could place these, but then this monster has its exit already, and so it would be walled in, or it would have 2 exits. So that's not allowed. So there we go. We've got one more to place on this. We get these 2. Okay, in this 4 column, we've got 3 spaces taken up already, and we've got one more space to place. That's interesting to know. I don't think that tells us anything yet. All of these spaces are legal. The logic we had with this column, this row, applies to this one. We can't go there, right? If that was our only other gap in this row, we couldn't get across. So we've got that. We've got the rule of 2 over here because we've already got this one. The rule of 2 works both ways. The rule of 1 works both ways. So since we're coming up on an edge here, we can place these, right? Same logic, same logic. That does do something. We've got 2 of our 3 holes in this column. Well, I don't think you can it be here? Is that allowed? If we do that, I mean, without continuing into bifurcation, that seems like it's perfectly fine. You could zigzag out of there. I might come back to that. Oops, there we go. This is actually we cannot, because this has one more hole we can place in this row, and so you can't do that. And if you didn't do that, if you had this one, then you'd have to go there, and now you've got like a dead end, so that's not allowed. So actually we know that's not it. That means we have to have this because this has to go somewhere, so it's not a dead end. And now we're left, we don't know which one of these it is, okay? Now, does this hallway have to come down, or is it okay? Well, it might do, we don't know. Because there's only one way to get across this. Okay, well what that tells us is since there's only one way to get across this, and there's only, oh, never mind, this one. We already have this one. So I was going to say they must line up, but it could line up with either of those, wherever we place it, there or there. Well, we know it's not there, right? That's something. We've got one more hole to place in this column. That's weird. I guess, right, I had a tacit assumption that we could just sort of breeze through most of this, like have hallways through most of this. So it could be there. Well, okay, so if we've got one more, it's never there. That can't be a hole by itself, right? Because if it were, then we'd have to come out and we'd have a 2x2. Well, yeah. Yeah, we'd have a 2x2 because you'd go in that way as well. So that's not it. And I think by similar logic, that's not it. So the question is this the traversal? Is this how you get from the top of the puzzle to the bottom of the puzzle? And clearly not. There's not enough walls. Okay. Well, that's great. That means the traversal's over here. We don't know if one of these, if we connect to this monster on the right, though. It could come, if it came from there, we'd be entirely blocked off. Okay, so it's not there. It could still come from this way, I think. If we did that, you have to do this, and that clearly doesn't work. Okay. Oops, that one we had. Well, so we know it doesn't go in there anymore. Okay, well that's great. Oh, well that does tons for us, because now this has one exit, and it has to be there. So we place that, and that's this monster's exit. So we can place its walls. That gives us where our traversal is. And then we can place walls, fill in the pocket. That gives us this, and that pocket. That gives us this, and that pocket. And let's see, what else have we got? We've got one more. Okay, yeah, we've got one more hole here, so we have to be able to get from this little corner out via one exit. It's never there, because if it were there, then the rest of the column would be full, and you'd have to go here or here in order to get out, and so that doesn't work. So we know it's not there. It seems likely it would be easy for it to be here because of this one, but we don't know that, because this would be completely fine as well. So what else have we got? Any one of these, I think, could be... Well, okay, let's think about this column, because we've only got one more wall that we can place. So, could it be that? No, clearly not. In fact, we know... there we go. That's it. Look at this. Because of this one, if you were to place a wall here, then this is stuck. So that's always open. That's our only open. That gives us the rest of these walls. That means that this is a wall. This is going somewhere, so it's coming in, and then that's the entrance for these, so we can place that. This has to go somewhere. This has to go somewhere. This is now empty. This must turn, so this goes, and we got a pocket. This is empty, and fill that pocket, and now we just battleship it in. Boom. There we go. That was tricky. We had a little bit of bifurcation to figure some things out. Had to take the little wins.